Well, seems like we are live today. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody has is having a really good Tuesday. I hope everybody is having a really good day. Let me move my mic a little bit. So I hope everybody is having a good day. I hope everybody is having a great day. Today, first of all, like if you're watching me on replay, I really appreciate you. I always try to save my videos on replay. And today I'm kind of sitting down because like I'm feeling a little under the weather. I don't know, like over the weekend, I think on Sunday, like I started feeling kind of a little bit sick. So and on Monday I kind of felt under the weather. I had to like call off and I usually try to do my live streams on Monday, on Wednesdays, and on Fridays if I can, or at least Saturdays, something like that. So, but like yesterday, I was kind of feeling a little bit under the weather. That's why I didn't do anything. So like today, I feel a little bit better. But anyway, let's chat today about how much you should invest in your education. And when I talk about your education, I'm talking about your like career, how much you should invest in your career in general. So, and as we talk, I might like sip my hot green tea with honey and lemon because like this is the best medicine that I ever would take because like it helps me so much. So excuse me if I sip my tea time to time because, like I said, I'm a little bit under the weather. It might be a little bit hard to talk for a long time. So investing in your career, investing in your career. I think when we talk about investing in your career or career investment, we need to understand um, different factors. Different factors, and the first factor we have to understand: what are you going to get from this investment? What are you going to get from this investment? Because um, what blows my mind sometimes is when people go to college and they spend a lot of money on their degree, and yet that degree doesn't have like a clear promises, right? Like, oh, like master's degree or bachelor's degree in communication, bachelor's degree in this and in that. But when I look at those titles, when I look at those programs, like the one thing I want to know: what do you actually teach? Like, like it's nice to have like I don't know, bachelor's in communication and bachelor in, like I don't know, positive psychology. But how do I actually will utilize those knowledge and those skills in my everyday career life? Like, so in other words, how much money am I going to make with your degree? So how much money, what kind of career I can build out of your degree, right? Like this is the first question. So, and like this is kind of like brings me back when people talk to me and ask about career in tech, right? How much you should invest in career in tech, and which route you should go when it comes to career in tech. So, and like I think I talked about it like a few times. There are several routes that you can go. You can go computer science degree, go back to college. You can go route with boot camp, enroll in boot camp. You can do self study, and you can hire somebody to actually teach you how to code. And like right now, I think there are more coding coaches and they're like coding mentors in a way that like offer you kind of like boot camp like experience, but maybe in a smaller group. So, and I think there are few criteria that you have to go and you have to consider before you make a decision how much you should invest and whether that investment is whether that investment is worth it. Like first of all, is who is your provider? Who's your course provider, program provider, like mentor, coach, boot camp? Who are they? And when you look at your mentor or when you look at your boot camp, do you want to be where they at? Especially in like this is what one of the reasons why I chose not to enroll in a boot camp when I was transitioning from uh, a QA engineer or like senior software developer in test to iOS development. One of the reasons I decided not to enroll into boot camp because I simply did not know who my instructors were. I like that was really important to me because uh, I was at that point where like I know Swift, like I can build UI tests in Swift with XUI tests. I can like I can figure out on my own. And if my knowledge is better than my instructor's knowledge, or my instructor doesn't really have the whole lot of experience other than coding bootcamp that they just graduated from and they started teaching there, then like I probably need to reevaluate like the whole boot camp, the whole if I want to invest it or not. The same thing when it would come to my mentors because I hired mentors before myself, and the first thing that I look into my mentor, where are they at? Do I want to be there? Do I want to be there? So like or do I want to be like, can they get me where I want to be? Can they get me where I want to be or not? So, but not every mentor, not every like coding coach can get you where you want to be. And it's really important to see out their professional track record, like where are they working and their professional growth. And if they like, are they doing what they're teaching you? Are they doing what they're teaching you, like day to day? Like, do they have any exposure and experience um, in the job market, in the industry? Because it's one thing to teach how to code, and it's a totally different way. It's a totally different reality when you actually go and build a mobile app. So there are two different realities because I know creators and I know iOS developers or iOS creators and mentors that they're teaching beautiful techniques. The techniques are absolutely amazing, but when it comes to architecture, it just like it is not something that you would deploy in production. That would just not work in production whatsoever. And again, like when we talk about architecture, um, when we talk about code, it's highly opinionated area. People have opinions like about architecture. People have opinions about code. So, and everybody can argue, but like I can kind of see if that person worked in the industry and more than that, some creators I can tell you by the style of their code if they're coming from more of a startup culture or they're coming more from a big company, big corporation culture, because the code style is a little different. And I don't think that one code style is worse or better than the other, but I can tell. So, first of all, when we talk about investment, who you are working with, do they know what they're talking about? Like, for instance, and like I'm fully aware that like I'm offering you my program, I'm offering you my coaching program where I teach iOS developers how to enroll, how to get into industry, and basically, like my end product is to get people a job and help them to get into iOS development. But let's pretend for a second I am a senior iOS developer and I never talked about web development or CSS or HTML. And here I am going online and offering you CSS and HTML and React course, and I will teach you how to be a web developer in 6 months, and I will teach you how to do React in 6 months. People might be shocked. People might be like, for example, like if like one of the iOS developers who does courses and teaching iOS development, if they all of a sudden switch like I do React now, like I would be really curious about it. Like, cause like, okay, like you were talking about iOS for like 10 years and now switch to React without any kind of preparation or like announcement and stuff like that. So like I think it's really important to see who is your mentor, who is that person or that entity that offers you that education, and if they can get you where you want to be. Another criteria is to look at is the actual program. So what that person is at, like what is that person is actually offers you, because it's really important to, and where you at too, where you at too. So do they offer you like more fundamental things when like if you don't have background in iOS development or in that particular area? If it is individualized program, are they willing to modify their program in a way that can cover your shortcomings, or they're working only with more advanced students, right? So the program is really important. How that program is designed, like is it something that like is required or in like in the industry, is it something that required like it on the job, and um stuff like that. And I think it's really important when you talk to, or before you make a purchase, if you have questions when you're reaching out to a person, I think it's really important to talk about why the program is designed the way it is designed, why it is designed the way it is designed. In my program, for example, I designed my program based on my experience, right? Getting into iOS development, I was designing my program based on what I was lacking and what I was missing from standpoint of employment, could what was preventing me from getting an iOS development job like right away, and like what was hindering me in a way. So like that was huge and important for me. And also like the length and the duration program. So like because I think if it is a very it, if it is a very short program, like I would check like the requirements, what kind of pre-requirements, prerequisites you have to have. If you like, let's say if somebody says, hey, I will teach you from nothing to landing your first job as an iOS developer or as a QA in a week, I would ask that I would honestly question that person, like, can you really teach me in a week how to be a developer or how to be a QA tester or whatever? Because like it like when it comes to tech, is it takes time to understand and kind of understand and get familiar, and for everything to click with you, right? So or like for example, there like time to time I see a boot camp for 3 months. In 3 months you're going to be a React developer, and like I giggle a little bit because like you can't be a React developer in 3 months. You can be a React developer in 3 months. 6 months. 6 months is more like, this is why I developed my program for like 6 months, because I believe that in 6 months you can be in the shape where you either can think about if you're ready for the interview, or start interviewing or start prepping for the interview. I believe that like in 6 months it is doable if you work really hard, if you have really clear guidance, if you invest in yourself and follow the program like correctly, then like yes, absolutely you can get there in in 6 months. So in 6 months plus, like after your graduation plus, I would say like 3 months of searching for a job in the job market, because it takes me in general 3 months to land another job, to land a new job with with different interviews, with like talking to a recruiter, talking to the hiring manager, talking to the team, like submitting assessment, things like that. So it takes a little time. Also, what program, like what is the promise, what is the promise, what that person actually promises you when they say, hey, like we have a program for you? What do they promise? What do they promise you? So do they promise that they just gotta like, what's the end result, like a knowledge or like employable skills that you gotta get? What is the end, what is the end product? Another important criteria is a teaching style. Do you like a teaching style of that person who offers you a program? So this is another reason why, like, I was kind of hesitant with the boot camps, because like I don't know who they are. Like I don't know who they are. I don't know their instructors. That's why it was really challenging for me to pick one. And because like I would pay like $15,000 for like 6 to 9 months of boot camp. But like, like, who are they? Who are they? I don't know their teaching style. So, and this is why it is always a plus if you can like dive into content of that person who will be teaching you. Like, do you understand what they're teaching you? Do you like, does it make sense? Do you like it? Like, do you click with that style? And also like just genuine conversation with that, with your future coach or future mentor. Like, do you like what they're saying? Like, do you like interacting with them? Because when you sign for a program, you're gonna be with that person for at least between 3 and 6 months, right? It depends again on the program where you're at, between 3 and 6 months. So, and like if you don't like them, if you don't like them, then like it's gonna be really challenging for you to follow through the program. So to follow through the program and like see if you have connection. So, and the last point, like the last point to consider is actual cost. So when it comes to the cost, the way I look at it, so if it is a course, I look at the curriculum, what is covered. And when I look at what is covered, do they cover what I'm missing, and what in addition I'm going to get? And in general, for the digital course, I would say like I don't need to talk to nobody. I don't really need a lot of support if like if that course is not more than $300 or $400. And I bought actually courses. I bought a program for Python that cost me $400. So at that level, I don't need a lot of support, like because like high quality program, high quality course, and like I like the instructor, so like that's okay. But like if it is anything above that, and if it is just a digital course, then I do need to have an access to the instructor, because I will get stuck. And for the money that I invest in the course, I would like to have some sort of access to the instructor, either email or like maybe optional, like a call once a week or something like that. So like if it is a really important digital course, pre-recorded course, if it is anything above $300, like I don't know, I need some sort of access. I need some sort of like better customer support, if you will. If it is in person, or not in person, if I'm actually working with a person or with a boot camp, one of the criteria like I see is my future income. is my future income. So let's say if I spend like roughly from $3,000 to like $10,000 for a program, how much money I'm going to make at the end. So, for example, if we're looking, if we're talking about iOS development, then the salary expectation can be anywhere from the absolute lowest, it should be like, I don't know, like 80K per year. And you can go as high in your career as like 190 to 100K. Like it is absolutely possible. And when I say 190 and 200K, I'm talking about more senior roles, more principal roles in like in between. So like what like it does the career perspectives align with the price that I have to pay for the program. Like that's my biggest issue, because if I have to invest right now anywhere from $3,000 to like $10,000, whatever it is, what is my future outcome? Because and it's really it is really relevant to me, because I'm on the market for a business course, right, or for business coaching, because like I'm an iOS developer, I know how to build apps, I know how to build software, but like I don't necessarily know everything about business, right? Like I need to learn it from people who can do it. And this is what I like, these are my criterias. Like, do they do what I do, or like are they successful, do they know how to get there? Like, number one. Number two, like how much money I'm going to make from this course, how much money are they making? So like, are they there yet, or like is it like, where are they learning it from, where are they getting the information from? So like stuff like that. So what is the end compensation after that course? Because you can spend like there's endless numbers that you can spend on your education. The better question, what is the return on investment? How much money are you going to get back from your investment? So I think those are important questions to ask. And kind of to wrap up, like you do know that I do have a program. I do have iOS Accelerator program where I help QA engineers and new iOS developers to land their first iOS development job and transition to iOS development career. So the length of the program, it's approximately 6 months. I work with everybody individually. So because it is individualized program, so I look at your skill set, right? And I can adjust my program with the length of my program according to your skill set, right? This is one plus. This is the plus of my program, because this is going to be an like highly individualized program. So we're working on real applications, right? Real applications that belong to real small businesses, and those small businesses can provide you actual feedback and actual references, and actually vouch for you on the job market that you work for them for real. So like that's another plus. And you have two sessions with one-on-one with me per week, where we dive into problems. We do a lot of pair programming. Why two sessions? Because I want to give you as much time as possible for you practicing solving problems. So let's say first session, we're setting up your task, what you should do, what you should be focused on, what you should be focusing on. And the second meeting is the second session is where I do code review, or like maybe where you get stuck, I do pair programming with you, so I can help you unstuck with the task that you're currently doing. And also, like if you go to a US Accelerator program and you look at the curriculum, I cover very complex topics, and those topics, like I mean, I can talk about them like in theory, but like my goal is to address each and every topic based on your code base, based on what you are actually doing with the actual app. Because um, iOS development is highly practical discipline. So you gotta practice, and well, and we can talk about architecture. We can talk about um, patterns. We can talk about techniques. We can talk about really those complex topics. But it's really hard to explain those things without context and with that actual application of your skill set on the real application that you have in your hands. So that's the program. Yeah, if you are interested, schedule an appointment with me. I'm always happy to see you and happy to talk to you, and like we can determine which approach and which like style is more appropriate for you, which difficulty appropriate is appropriate for you. I'm focusing on people who are already in tech, either like QA professionals or iOS developers mm, who know the basics of iOS development, who know like at least basics of Swift UI or like UI kit. But like maybe they're trying to figure out how to approach that last step to let like start a job. So that's kind of my target audience. I'm not working with the individuals who are absolutely coming from zero, absolutely zero, right? Like no prior experience, no experience in tech, nothing. Like, let's say, I don't know, if you're a teacher and you want to be a iOS developer, but you're a teacher right now and you want to learn iOS development, you're probably not my ideal candidate. But if you are a QA engineer, if you work in tech, if you have exposure in tech, so you won't, I don't have to explain to you like very important concepts that like surround iOS development, then like we can talk. So like Ian, if you have basics, if you have foundation, like I said, with Swift and Swift UI or UI kit, so that probably will be a good fit for you as well. So thank you so much for watching. Investing in your career is really important. I constantly invest in my career myself, and like when I invest in my career, I look into my trainer or my coach who is actually teaching me. I look into the program. So, what is the curriculum? What is the program promise? What is the end result? I look at teaching style. Can I connect with that person? Can like is that teaching style more appropriate for me? Like, because different people might have different teaching styles, and the cost. So like if I invest that kind of money in this course, what like it is, like is it going to pay off? Like am I going to get better like income? Like am I going to run my business better? Am I going to launch a better job? Am I going to be more marketable on the in the marketplace so I can land a job for a higher salary? So that's kind of my criteria that I'm going through when I'm looking at the different programs. Well, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and I hope everybody is doing well. Let me know if you have any questions. Like you can DM me, you can comment like under this live stream if you're watching on the replay. The best way to figure out if this program is for you or not is schedule an appointment with me, and we can talk about like if that program will work for you or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.